My name is Jen, and I am on a journey in order to break free from the destructive patterns of disordered eating and in order to embrace a nourishing lifestyle. My roadmap can be described using an acronym of the word Nourisher. So I'm doing daily video blog posts in order to encourage you, equip you, and keep you up to date on my progress. If this content is helpful or encouraging to you, please consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and sharing with others. It is my deep desire that these videos would help to ignite nourishing transformations in us all.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me for this summer check-in. It is good to be with you. And you know what? To be quite honest, I'm in summer mode. The kids are home. We're bustling about, enjoying our days, but they're so full that before I started this check-in, I had to stop and think, what am I feeling? I so quickly kind of detach and lose a sense for how am I doing? What am I feeling? So I did what we have done together so many times. When I'm not sure what I'm feeling, I turn to my body for clues. So as I kind of did that body scan from head to toe, I just immediately noticed, it's so funny, 2 minutes ago, I had no idea that I was carrying stress and tightness in my shoulders and neck. But just having that moment to stop and reflect, I can totally feel just a lot of tension in my shoulders and neck, some shallow breathing, a tightness in my chest, elevated heart rate, a little bit, not a knot in my tummy, but definitely all signs showing that I'm holding some type of stress or anxiety that I need to release. So releasing this, of course, is going to have two parts. One, it's going to have a physical part, and then two, it's going to have a little bit more of a compassionate inquiry and kind of wondering of what's going on in me. But first, I try to process some of that emotion physically. So I'll do this through the Yawning Technique, which if you're new to this journey with me, that's when we kind of turn our head to the side and force a yawn. And hopefully my yawn helped you yawn. And then do a shoulder roll to the other side and try to force another yawn. If you kind of jiggle your chin, sometimes it can help make the yawn more real. And you can continue to do that to help everything relax. There's other breathing techniques, and I'll put some other tips and tricks down in the additional resources area below, in the comment section below, to help you really slow everything down and to release some of that tension and to maybe express or expel some of the excess carbon dioxide that is pent up in your body. So that's really helpful for me. So what I am noticing in this wonderful opportunity that we have to have summer break together with the kids off is that I love having the kids home, and I am so emotionally bad at having the kids home. So let me unpack that for you. And it comes with a lot of feelings of guilt and not quite despair, but definitely some harder to process emotions. In that these people that I love more than anyone else in the whole world, and that I want to be nourishing them, especially emotionally, I just recognize I have such a small capacity to be emotionally present with them, and such a small capacity to quiet myself when lots of other people are around. So some people might wonder, is this just a question of being introverted versus extroverted? And the way that I understand introversion versus extroversion is more a matter of where are you recharged. Emotionally, someone who is incredibly introverted might really like being with people, but that might be an expenditure of energy as opposed to a place where they are recharged with energy, whereas an extrovert would receive energy from being with people, but that doesn't mean that they don't appreciate or need alone time. So I don't think that that's what's happening here. I think what's happening here is more of an emotional resilience or an emotional capacity to be in the loving presence of people. When we're together with people that we love, people that we enjoy, there's typically rhythms where you have kind of times of higher joy and excitement together, but then you also need to be able to experience quieter, more calming times together. You kind of go through these rhythms of doing things that are, enjoyable and engaging, and then kind of quieting and easing off, reading a book or kind of just enjoying some quiet time in the same space. And I'm not very good at these rhythms, and I'm noticing that. And also I've talked before about how I'm noticing a deficiency in my capacity to play and to embrace just rest and joyful activities. Yesterday, my daughter was playing on an electric piano, and I'm trying to reframe this, because before I would have just thought, in my pre-Neufeld days, I would say Gordon Neufeld and his work in the Neufeld Institute has really revolutionized the way, probably Dr. Laura Markham as well, Jennifer Colleri, some of these great teachers and instructors have helped reframe the way that I parent and the way that I think about parenting of my kids and etc. So I would have thought that a kid kind of like pounding out very loud noise on a piano would have just been like annoying and bad and totally out of touch with the people around her. But what I'm realizing is that there's nothing that's just exploratory and beautiful and wonderful, and she's totally enjoying that. But it's me who doesn't have the capacity to handle that loud noise or that particular noise. She was doing this like noise that was like, it was like nails on a chalkboard. I couldn't handle it. So, but it wasn't her fault. So I'm trying to reframe this to say, like, sweetie, it looks like you're having so much fun, but that particular noise is really hard for mama. Could you please make it a little quieter, or could you please change the sound for mama's sake, so that she can help, she can start learning better, empathy and compassion and awareness of the people around her, and augment that skill without somehow making her feel bad about what she's doing, because she's not doing anything inherently wrong by just totally playing this crazy sound with gusto. So lots of learning there, and lots of just recognizing my own lack of capacity, not wanting to put that on other people in terms of it being their problem, but openly expressing to them what my needs are and what my lacks are, so that together we can care for each other, both in our times of strength and our times of weakness. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. It's kind of all crazy, but that really just ties into opening up to others, and really this idea of the summer for me is all about learning how to open up for others, and how do I stay connected emotionally, and how do I offer emotional nourishment, particularly to my kids, while they're home for this unique time in the summer. And you know what? I'm not doing this super great, but even the little bits I feel that I am doing this well, I really notice the kids flourishing in, and that's super exciting to watch, and I'm really delighted about that. So the one thing that I notice is here I'm in front of my kids, I'm with them, I feel like I don't have a lot of capacity, I don't have a lot to give them. So I tried the same trick that we talked about earlier, which is, hey, if you don't know what you're feeling, go to your body to tell you. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to use a similar hack and say, if I don't know how to connect with the kids emotionally, I'll connect with them physically in order to kind of bridge that emotional gap. And you know what? It is working so well. So I don't know if you've ever read the book, The 5 Languages of Love, or The 5 Love Languages. That has been a helpful book for me. Maybe not, pivotal in my development or maturity, but definitely an important concept. And the whole concept here is that we tend to offer love and affection in the same way that we most readily or enjoy receiving love and affection. And how do we learn to offer love and affection in ways that really translate as love and affection to other people on their terms? So there's 5 different love languages, and I can explain it below. But the big thing here is that physical touch is one way that we can express love and affection. So yesterday I tried to just really lean into this, and this is a very natural way for me to both receive and give love and affection. And so with the kids, I played this game. So like my kids, their ages now are like 7, 9, and 10. So they're a little bit older, and yet they still love this game that we started when they were little. And where they pretend that they are a musical instrument. So they pretend they're a musical instrument, and they come to me for tuning. So let's say they come, they're piano. So they'll like lie down on my lap, will be on the couch, and I pretend to play on their body, like on their back and on their legs, like they're piano, but like they're horribly out of tune. And I'm like, oh no, you are so out of tune. So you need to pay me, and I am going to give you a tune-up. So they pay me whatever their pretend money is. And then I proceed to pretend like I'm making drilling noises while I tickle them, and all sorts of different areas, under their arms and behind their knee or wherever. And I always ask them, are you looking for a gentle tune-up or are you looking for a thorough tune-up? And if they want a thorough tune-up, then they want me just to tickle them and just laugh and get all giddy. And if they just want a gentle tune-up, then that means that I just do gentle, soft tickles. And this is such a beautiful way of us to get a little bit of kind of rough housing, physicality out, some really great connected touch together. And really, it's been just really bonding, and I highly recommend this type of play if you have children around the house. So that was a great way for me to open up for them and to connect with them, even if I was feeling a little bit restless inside, just on an emotional level, connecting with them that way. So understanding the cycle, I think I mentioned the last couple of days I've just been like ravenous and eating like anything that I can get my hands on. And I wasn't sure if that was just because my cycle or if that was because of this added kind of stress of managing the emotional load of having people around me all the time, or particularly these emotionally important people around me all the time. So I'm still not quite sure, but definitely I'm noticing some of the cycle pressure declining and not feeling as ravenous all the time, which I'm really grateful for, and just want to keep watching the level of craving and the amount of food, because I have my quantity of food has really increased, which, you know what, if it's just a different time and my body just has different needs during this particular time, then that's no problem. I want to ebb and flow with what my body needs, but I also want to make sure that I'm not heading back into a binge cycle of eating lots in a very small amount of time in order to soothe emotional pain. So just trying to really keep my eye on that. So rewiring my brain, some of these things that I've done with the kids in terms of trying to increase my physical touch with and for them definitely is brain rewiring for both of us, because it does increase both dopamine and serotonin, which are kind of two neurotransmitters that help to regulate our mood. So that is really great, not only for the children, but also for me. But also I have to look to other things to help me quiet, other brain rewiring techniques to help me quiet in the presence of people. So for this, I have been generally trying to do grounding techniques while I'm just in the room with people. I do find I'm going to my devices way too much. So I got to pull myself away from the device, do some grounding techniques, and practice some mental appreciation, meaning just looking over at whatever someone in my family is doing and then thinking through appreciation thoughts about them and kind of freeze framing that moment about them. And that has been very, very helpful for me. Insulin-friendly eating, I'm starting to feel like a bunch of the recipes that I've been making recently, I've been making a lot. And I just feel a little stir crazy in terms of wanting some difference, wanting some flair. So wanting to be careful that this just isn't looking for stimulation through food in order to calm kind of some of my nervous energy of having all the people around right now. But also just wanting to, embrace some new recipes as well. So if you have any recommendations, please let me know. I would love to spice things up a little bit. Sleep, I'm just still in that exact same pattern. Going to sleep early, which has been great. Waking up in the middle of the night, hanging out, doing some deep breathing, going back to bed, but waking up, between 5 and 6, refreshed and ready to go for the day. So if anybody has any recommendations of how I can close that gap at night, put them down below. I would love to learn from you. Hydration has also been going well. And again, I probably mentioned it before, but I just noticed such a combination or such an interactivity between hydration and my gut health. So I'm really grateful for that, because I've struggled with my gut for years now. And so I'm really reaping the benefits of that increased hydration in terms of healthier feeling gut. So that has been terrific. Exercise, I love it when, of course, recently, because my work isn't as physical, I do need to plan my exercise every day. But this summer so far, exercise has just been a natural part of our days. And I love it when that happens. Enjoyable movement that isn't taxing, but is nourishing for the body, done socially with others or naturally as a part of the day. I just love that. So far, I think I'm getting a thumbs up and really enjoying the summer exercise and movement. So in terms of reward, my big reward here is this idea that there are small steps that I can make, even though I feel like I really struggle emotionally to connect with my kids in a way that I want them to feel safe and treasured and loved unconditionally, no matter what, to have really deep bonds with me. And I feel like I don't have the capacity to do that as well as I would like. I know and I can sense in them that any deposit is really helping them to feel more secure. And this I noticed because my daughter the other day was learning how to blow bubbles. Now, with bubblegum, which for me is like a detestable thing. I know that sounds crazy, but like I don't like gum. I don't like bubble gum. I don't like the smell of it. I don't like the look of it being chewed. So I could not help her learn. But I try not to push any of the fact that I detest this onto them. And I'm trying to just embrace the fact that this is a fun part of childhood. So she's learning this, and she is, for whatever reason, I think because of some, emotional stirred upness inside of her, she is a huge complainer, and she is very much this is easy, I can do this no problem, or this is too hard, I'm not going to touch it. She has these extremes. She doesn't have a really growth mindset of embracing challenges, embracing mistakes along the way, and just embracing that learning process. So I just really tried to coach her through it. I was really present with her. I was really delighting in her progress, and was just kind of coaching her in terms of like, I'm sorry, mommy I never learned how to do that, and you can learn how to do that. So why don't you ask a whole bunch of people how they do it, and then, and try what different people offer you as advice. And she did that. That's exactly what she did. And she learned how to blow a bubble. And you know what? I thought this is such a silly little thing. And yet this is so monumental, not only for her, but that she did it. She embraced a growth mindset. I was able to be present with her along the way. I was able to push past some of my, negative connotations about a silly thing and really enter into something that was very joyful for her. And it was just a huge celebration of something so crazy and small, but really, really important to us. And so I'm so excited that these things are possible, that I can be present with my family, particularly with my girls, even in the midst of things that are not typical or natural or comfortable for me. And we're making huge strides forward. So thank you for journeying with me, and thank you for learning together with me, and thank you in advance for letting me learn from you. And I am already looking forward to catching up with you more and checking in again, maybe every other day throughout the summer, and to continuing to embrace these nourishing, very, very nourishing practices together. Have a great day.